These are your readings from the Waist Up, and I'm Megan Benanti. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Okay, our first charm is the stethoscope. So perhaps you are listening to your heart. The second charm is a rose. Oops, sorry, dropped it. The rose. And the third charm is, there's two, an axe. So I called it. You've got the stethoscope, the rose, or the axe. Which one is calling your name today? And I've got a reading for you. Okay, stethoscope people, let's see what we have. All right, so first off, we've got Empress in reverse. So there might be some mama issues for you guys right now. Now, this can be you and your mother. If you are a mother, this might well be your energy. If it's neither of those, as for someone it will be, there might be some issues related to your cycle and that being off or heavy or difficult right now. So for those of you that apply as maternal energy, I want you to not try to take on so much. There's a sense of overdoing it and overextending yourself. You're doing the give, and you are not allowing yourself to receive. You need to receive before Christmas rolls around, or you're going to lose your mind. Okay? This is just time where you need to take a break. And that stethoscope is listen to your heart, get the rest you need, recover a little bit. You don't have to be everything right now. Now, for those of you that are dealing with mom, you know what? Stay out of her way. You're not going to be able to please her in this moment. And it's not that she's a bad person. She's just overextended right now. And I feel like she just can't take anything else on. And if you're a young person and you're living at home, maybe it's just offering help in ways that you might not normally, unload the dishwasher or do the dishes or take out the trash. Just do something without asking and show some support, because I feel like that's kind of what she's needing right now. Okay? Your work school life, we've got 10 of Wands. So it is getting to the end. It is beginning to get things done, feeling accomplished. We're coming to the end of the year. If you were in school, you probably just finished, I would assume. But if this is your work, it's just honoring it's almost done. It's almost over. You get a break. A lot of people break between Christmas and New Year's. So there's a sense of that finality and just kind of hanging in there as long as you can. But that's a good thing. You're listening to your heart on that. So that's part of that stethoscope energy. Okay, now personal life, Page of Cups. So for those of you that have children, there is a focus on the kids and just wanting them to bring them joy and have it be a good holiday, good break time from life. And, and honoring that they need a break from school right now. Definitely, school life has been stressful for them. And so you just want to give them all the good cuddles and have them be safe and happy. If you are a young person, I see that you are headed in a new direction. You're enthusiastic about it. You're looking forward to holidays, but looking forward to the new year and what you're going to step into and how you're going to grow. So there's a lot of positivity in there. This will also come up for anyone that is not a young person, but it's embracing it like it's new and you're learning new things and you've got passion and enthusiasm. There's just some good joy in your life about what you're stepping into next. There might also be someone who's a young person that is a positive influence for you right now. So nieces and nephews, things like that. Overall, though, very positive, very good. And moving into next week, let's see, we've got 5 of Pentacles in reverse. So maybe everything isn't quite the way you expect it to be. That's okay. I do see some transformation happening for you. I want you to focus more on the spirituality of the season rather than the functionality of the season, which is easier said than done because there can be a lot of hustle. But focus on the real meaning of the season and why why we celebrate this end of the year cycle, whether that's the winter solstice or Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah. Like there's a call to not get caught up in the mundane. Really take some time for you and get into your spiritual center, your soul self. That's where your heart is, and that's really going to make the difference for you in this next week. Okay, let's take a look at the rose people, and we'll see what we have for you guys. Okay, rose people. Oh, well, you're starting out heavy. So the rose is in bloom. So this is your time to blossom and find closure. We've got the Tower. This is tough. It's a tough kind of falling apart, breaking away of life from things that have been established. Now this might be as simple for you as breaking away from a belief system or something in the way that you've done things for a really long time. So I want you to just like honor the power of who you are, to recognize this pattern and move away from it. If something else has crumbled apart, if someone has been lost, allow this to fall away and just allow the grief that comes up with that. Because, you know, when we let go of things, a lot of times there is a transitional period of grieving. And for you, I think that's part of what you have to honor. The rose represents passion and the things that we love. And so, you know, you can love a person and also know that maybe you need space from them. So this is honoring that energy. Your work life, Queen of Cups here. So whether that's work or school for you, there's a sense of a really positive influence that is supportive and nurturing of you in that environment. If you're an adult, though, this might well be your energy and following your passions in your career and the things that you really love. Again, there's a huge rose right here. So, you know, what she holds in her mind is about beauty and expansion and blooming and opening. So how do you take that into your life, into your career, and develop further? Love this energy for you. It's really beautiful, really solid, very contained feeling in a safe environment. So that seems really important to honor within yourself. Okay, now personal life, you've got Ace of Wands in reverse. So where's your creativity right now? It feels like you want something, you're not sure if it's going to happen. This is personal to you. It is a passion project. If it's a creative one, you might just not have the time right now. With everything that's going to be going on in the next week, that this isn't going to be quite the best focus. There is something about having a conversation with someone that needs to happen. So somebody out there, this is for you specifically. It doesn't feel like you can have the conversation this week, but it does feel like it's important to you. And maybe it doesn't need to be as big as a conversation as you thought it did. Maybe it's just a quick blurb and say, I'm sorry, and move forward. So don't blow it out of proportion, okay? Because I do think it doesn't have to be a big deal here. Just allow grace that this one, it's maybe not this week, but it can be next week. All right, and next week does feel like things are kind of coming together a little better. So something coming forward. There might be like a Christmas present that you, or a gift that you wanted to give someone that was desperately important that is delayed, and it will arrive, but it might be a little late, or it could be just in time, honestly, as we move into holiday week. Things are coming in, and honestly, everything, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. We love this. So things will bloom. I know you started with that heavy Tower card, but honestly, everything else looks pretty good. So I like this for you. This is a good thing. All right, so let's take a look at the people who picked the axe. Well, this is interesting. So we started off with the same card for you that we had for the stethoscope. So Empress in reverse. So some maternal energy going on here. Now, those of you that are moms, I feel like you are having a hard time kind of stating your boundaries right now. You just are thinking you have to do it all, and you seem divided. Like you can't really give your all attention to any one thing, and that feels frustrating. What I'd like to see you do is just take a moment and stop and breathe into that heart space and really focus on yourself just for like 5 good deep breaths and recenter yourself. Now, for those of you that are focused on your mom, honestly, she is unavailable. She is super distracted. And if you really need her attention, you need to stand up and say something. And the hatchet or the pickaxe here, or not pickaxe, the hatchet or the axe, it's to cut through things, cut through whatever's holding you back. I do think she will take the time to listen to you, but you have to say, hey, Mom, I need you. I need this time to have a conversation and I need some support right now. And I do think she will respond to that. So very different energy than what I had with the stethoscope. Speak your truth. Okay. So work, school life, for those of you that are at work, well, for both of you, it's Page of Cups in reverse. So for those of you that are working, it feels like you might be needing help, someone to work with you that is maybe less skilled, someone that could work beneath you and support you in some ways, but there's difficulty in getting that person, or perhaps you have someone and they just don't get it, or their heart's not in it and you're frustrated with that because they might not love their job like you love your job, you know. And so navigating that energy. If you're in school, it just that sense of feeling daunting, like, will this ever end? And it does one day, but when you're in school, when you're young, time feels endless. It feels eternal. As the older you get, every decade it becomes shorter and shorter. And so for you, it just feels like you're never gonna get there. And school is honestly kind of feeling like it's not your jam this week. And that's okay. School wasn't my jam until decided I wanted to learn, and that didn't happen until college. And one of my sons is that way too. Did terrible in school, took off in college, does great. Honor that. What can you get from this time? What can you learn? Because you're always growing and you're always learning. Even if it's not the traditional education, you're learning your social skills. You're learning how to read and write better, more effectively. Take what you can, the nuggets that are good there, and really build on that. Okay, your personal life, it's around sleep, honestly. You're like exhausted, focused on sleep. You got 9 of Swords in reverse, and when it's bedtime, you are down, like you're out sleeping solid. You know what I'd say to that? It's a day well spent when you get a solid night of sleep. And that energy looks really good. I do see some tangles and some fretting in the background, but it's not taking as much presence as it normally does, which is great. So it is in the background, but there's this, angst or like worrying and kind of icky stuff back there. But keep it in the past. You don't need, honestly, worry is like it's burning calories, but other than that, it doesn't really do us any good because it doesn't change anything, right? So, and it's also about the future. It's not being present. And so there is a sense of being more present, even if it's just due to exhaustion, but that being a good thing. The axe, again, cutting through any kind of difficulty sleeping. That seems important for you. All right, now moving into next week, you've got 3 of Cups. She is also in reverse, so everybody's upside down. 9 of Swords, that's a good thing, but the other ones, we got a little bit of challenge we're facing. Some of you are just going to be missing your friends, like not getting enough time with them, but there's some others where you might be dealing with a gossip situation and feeling left out. And I want you to understand that it really feels like just the nature of these people I don't think it doesn't feel malicious. It might be intentional, but in regards to their processing things. And when people process information, a lot of times, particularly women, we talk about it. It doesn't sound like someone specifically trying to talk behind your back. It's more like they're trying to process a situation and feel better about themselves in that situation. By doing that, your name is coming up. And can you find forgiveness around this? Because this can be a bump in the road. It doesn't mean it's your friendship's falling apart or anything like that. But it does feel like people are trying to figure something out, and you might feel like they're talking about you. Just take that energy and think about, does it outweigh the good of the friendship? Because I'm not really sure that it does. But if it does, walk away from the friendship. But if it doesn't, it's like, okay, I get it. I hear you. I respect what you're saying, and we can still be friends. All right. So that's the way I want you to think about that. And again, there was also a group that's just missing the social connections because maybe the focus is on family this week. So that is it for this week. I thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you next Friday for our last reading of the year. Okay, and then we move into 2026. Yay! Let it be better than 2025. All right, bye.